Do you know your child's learning style?
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you.
Hey guys, it is Casey with Accidental Homeschoolers. If you are new to my channel, I am a homeschooling mom of two. I am a former teacher and I have been homeschooling now for 4 years. So, do you know your child's learning style? Do you know what learning styles are? So this can be a very controversial topic. If you Google it, you will find so many answers. There's 6 learning styles, there's 7, there's 8. There's a multitude depending on what site you're reading from. So there are some basics that will help you get started. If you know your child's learning style, then you know how to teach to them. Do you know your learning style? Because the way that you learn well is the way that you are going to teach. So there are a few basics. There is auditory, which means you do very well learning things that you hear. Someone teaches it to you, they tell you, you hear it, you retain it, you learn it. The same can be said for music. Maybe you need a little bit of music to be able to gain that knowledge and to keep it. Is your child a visual learner? Do they need to see what you are teaching them to be able to understand? Do they need to see a poster or a picture to be able to understand the concept that you were trying to teach them? Are they a kinesthetic learner? Do they need to be able to touch it? Do they need to have it be hands-on? My son very much is a kinesthetic learner. He only gets a little bit through auditory. He usually hears like half of it, but if he can touch it, it's very helpful. Does your child need to have some sort of physical activity to kind of help them retain that knowledge? Do you have them jump up and down for, their math facts, or I don't know. Do they need to run around outside? Does your child learn better from reading something and then they retain it? Or can they read it? Can they write? Can they take notes? Does that help them learn better? I only get so much from auditory. I do better if I read it, if I write it. And if I don't understand something, if someone explains it to me verbally, I want to see it, I want to touch it. So that, in an essence, is a combination learner. Most kids are combination learners. Most people are combination learners. You're not just, solely auditory and solely visual. I've never run into a child or another person that it was just one thing. It was the only one way that they could learn. So when I was teaching, you were kind of expected to teach a lesson towards all the different learning styles, and hopefully, however a child learned, they could get something from it. That, in an essence, is a lot of work. So think about being an elementary teacher and you teach all the subjects. Every single lesson every day had to be taught in a million different ways. They expected you to use technology. They expected you to do many different things. So that can be very difficult, especially when you have a classroom full of many different learners. Now, if you're just homeschooling, you have a few, which is nice. Now, controversially, there are other types of learners. Let me look at my notes. Social learners. So they're people who learn better in a group. I could see that as being kind of a combination. Maybe sitting in a large lecture hall in college or sitting in a classroom. Maybe they're more motivated from being around others. There's solitary learners, people who do better learning on their own, maybe one-on-one. Those kids can also do better maybe just teaching themselves, being independent, doing like independent study type of learning. So there's all different types. But what type of learner are you? That's going to affect how you teach, because you will teach how you learn. Does your child have the same learning style? Maybe, maybe not. My son doesn't. He is better. I like to teach auditorily and visually. He only hears half of what I tell him. So if I say, don't touch that, he only heard touch that. And that could just be him being a boy. But I know that that's not the only way he's going to get the knowledge. He also does better hands-on. He wants to touch it. He wants to feel it. He wants to take it apart. He wants to take it to his room and, observe it by himself. And that goes for all kinds of things. He can learn visually. He can learn from reading. He loves to read. So he's also a combination learner. So many kids are. I'd be interested. Comment below and tell me, what type of learner are you? What type of learner is your child or your children? Do you guys conflict? Because that is difficult. My son and I are very different. And that also goes with personality, an introvert versus an extrovert. So I'm always having to think beyond what is easy for me. And, that can be difficult sometimes. That can be frustrating sometimes. But as a homeschool mom, are you expected to be perfect? As a classroom teacher, should you expect that person to be perfect? No. The reason I say this is because if you are a new homeschool mom or you're about to start homeschooling this next year, I don't want to frustrate anyone. I don't want anyone to think, I have to do all these things all the time and I have to figure it out right now. It's not possible. Do you think a brand new classroom teacher goes into the classroom on day one and knows everything and has it all down? No, it takes years. It's just practice and experience. And the same thing will happen with you as a homeschool parent. You're gonna learn what your kids need, honestly, through trial and error. And is there anything wrong with that? No. And once you get it and you just start ticking along, it's amazing. We're at that point now where we just are chugging along amazingly, and it's great, and I'm happy. Were those first couple of years really hard? Yes. I've been asked before, oh, you're a former teacher, so homeschooling was easy for you. The academic side, yes, but the side of being home all the time, being more domestic, never being alone, having to handle all those things in the house, that was very hard for me. That might be what's easy for you, and the academic side might be something that, you struggle with a little bit. But, if I can learn to do all those domestic things and rock it, you can learn to teach your kids. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to have you as a part of our community. I would love to hear what you have to say. Please comment below. I love to hear the conversation and to get more ideas. I love to hear what other families are doing and what other moms have implemented. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. My hair is stuck to my earring.
Every change has a reason.